Hello and welcome to Health Options on the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA. Cancer is a public health problem worldwide, affecting all categories of persons. It is the second common cause of death in developed countries and represents about 13% of all deaths in the world. More than 2 million Nigerians are known to have one form of invasive cancer or another. It is a very expensive disease to treat, and out of the estimated cases diagnosed annually in the country, not less than 80,000 die. Today on Health Options, we take a look at cancer burden in the country and how it is being addressed against the projection of 42 million cancer cases by the year 2020. You will get to know about some medicinal plants and foods with anti-cancer properties, as well as health tips on cancer prevention if you stay with us on the program. Thanks for joining us. I am Rabi, Abdallah. Cancer is preventable and curable if detected early. Findings, however, show that cases of cancer in Nigeria is on the increase, with breast cancer and that of the cervix leading killer of patients, particularly women. This is in the face of the country's very poor health insurance coverage. Uche Nwizu has a report on Nigeria's cancer burden. We, however, warn that some of the visuals may be disturbing.
Oncologists say cancer is what happens when the normal systemic ways cells grow and die in every body is impaired. As a result, the body tends to develop cells that are not responding to the body, and as such, they grow so fast, become aggressive, and have the ability to spread. Cancer is a public health problem worldwide, affecting all categories of persons. It is the second common cause of death in developed countries and among the 3 leading causes of deaths in developing countries. It represents about 13% of all deaths in the world. With so many types of cancer afflicting people today, it is hard to tell exactly how many types of cancer exist. Some reports have put it at over 200 types that are found in different parts of the body, with some being worse than the others and occurring at different times in life. The 6 most common cancers in Nigeria in descending order of occurrence are breast, cervix, prostate, colorectal, cancer of the liver, and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Cancer is a very expensive disease to treat, as available treatments, which include chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and surgery, cost huge sum of money.
This is one of the best in the world. It is of international standard. And I think what the government is trying to do is to have 7 such centers, meaning 1 in each geopolitical zone, with Abuja being the center, being the first to take off. I think Lagos will soon be fully on stream as well. So what is happening now is that we never have a situation in which we will not have an equipment functioning because we have to. So when one is undergoing maintenance, the other one will be functioning. And there will be times when, most times, both of them will be working and can treat several patients on a daily basis.
What the country should do is to ensure that these machines are provided in the 36 states of the Federation so that people will have nearness to the facilities. The Nigerians that have been blessed should provide the machines. We are not saying it should be free. They should pay.
All this underscore the need for prevention. Efforts to address the challenges associated with cancer treatment in the country led to the acquisition of 2 high-tech radiotherapy machines currently domiciled at the National Hospital. Similar machines are to be installed in each of the 6 geopolitical zones in the country.
Joining me now in the studio to discuss the burden of cancer is the Director and National Coordinator, National Cancer Control Program, Federal Ministry of Health, Dr. David Atuo. You're welcome to Health Options, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Okay. The mere mention of cancer sends shivers down the spine of people. And the question is, how comes Nigeria accounts for so much, burden of the disease?
First of all, our population is huge. And also with the advances in our medical diagnostic facilities, it's not as if cancer wasn't there before, but we are able to find out more people that have it. So the diagnosis has gotten better, and therefore more people now have found out that they are now having cancer. Unlike in the past when people die without the cause being known. We now know we can diagnose cancer, and therefore many people are now known to have cancer. Okay,
Nigeria as a country has its peculiarity. We have a late presentation. People are either ignorant of the fact that they even have the disease until it's way too late. What are you doing to stem this tide?
Yes, thank you very much. Now, one of our greatest problems in this country is that we have a culture of denial, especially for new ailments like cancer. It's not as if cancer wasn't there before. But you see, for something like cancer, it grows slowly, and therefore you may not notice it on time. Or if you notice maybe an irritation or a growth somewhere, we tend to ignore it. The culture of seeking hospital care whenever we have problems is not yet with us. And therefore, there are late presentations like you've correctly pointed out. But the thing with cancer is that if it is caught early, like you said in your introduction, cure is possible. In fact, even prevention is possible in certain cases of cancer. But the thing is that people don't seek medical help on time, and therefore cancer, as the name suggests, keeps growing until such a time that you have no choice but to go to hospital, by which time it may be late. So we are advocating, and like your program is helping to advocate, that people should seek help whenever they notice something unusual in their body. For instance, in breast, you may notice, a woman may notice that, there's some irritation or she notices some swelling or hardness in any part of her breast. She should, once she notices any difference, she should seek help. At an early stage, if it is cancer, unfortunately, something can be done. In fact, cure can be attained in quotes, cure. People have lived with breast cancer for years, 10, 15 years. We have survivors that have lived 10 years. I don't want to mention names, even prominent people in society. So early detection and early presentation in hospital is key to survival. Okay,
since we are aware of the burden of the disease in the country, do the existing interventions, are they commensurate with the disease burden?
Yeah, I must tell you that it is not for our population, but government, especially this government, is doing something about it. It is very, very fortunate for us that the current Minister of Health is putting all resources in this in cancer care. A lot of advocacy is being done now in collaboration with numerous partners and NGOs that have come into the cancer space. And government is laying the infrastructure, bringing in a lot of funds into cancer care. It's just even today that a new radiotherapy machine was brought into National Hospital. And so the infrastructure, government is investing, but it's not enough. So we are urging that individuals, organizations, and so on should come in terms of advocacy, in terms of treatment, and then, of course, where we ought to be is that we should have a universal insurance care for all Nigerians, because taking care of cancer by ourselves is hugely expensive, especially as presentation is late.
So what efforts are we making in that direction, talking about universal health coverage now?
Yes, there's a groundswell of opinion, even in the National Assembly and in the health sector, that this is where we ought to be. Because really, for us to pay out of pocket is not sustainable. Cancer ruins families in terms of finance. One person gets cancer in the family and the whole family may be ruined financially. So the way to go is that, a health insurance that will take care of all of these burdens, especially as is done in other climes. Presently, the National Health Insurance Scheme does not take care of a lot of the things that cancer, the cost of cancer. They take care of some drugs and some investigations, but not the whole gamut of care. And of course, how many people are covered by the NHIS in Nigeria? It's only the federal civil servants. So the way to go and what the ministry is doing is pursuing vigorously universal health care for all Nigerians.
Okay, we know that legislation builds on policy, right? Do we even have a cancer policy? If we do, what is the state?
Yes, we have a national cancer policy. We've had even for the past 5 years. The new one, the one from 2018 to 2020, this plan was formed by so many stakeholders from the get-go, from the very beginning. We involved all the stakeholders, both nationally and internationally. We've had input from the American Cancer Society and other cancer societies in the world. It's a robust plan, costed, and it is our hope that your organization like NTA will invite everyone to come and share in the plan so that it is a plan that we believe, once we follow it, that we'll be able to stem the tide of cancer.
Okay. You made a mention of a radiotherapy machine that was delivered to the National Hospital. How much are we going to see of that? Is it just the National Hospital?
No. Thanks for the question.
Because I know in the past we had issues with radiotherapy machines where, in fact, at time it was when we had just 2 machines functional. Yes. Just the one in Sokoto and the one at the National Hospital. Yes.
Fortunately now, government is investing hugely in it. National Hospital has 2. Insuka is functional, that is University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital's machine is functional. Sokoto is also functional. The aim is we are bringing funds and we are also partnering with other financial institutions to raise the aggregate of funds that we need for these machines.
Okay, it's been said that the social media affects society in both negative and positive ways, and the health sector is not spared either. In that vein, we've come across posts on the internet talking about or recommending, the consumption of lemon water for like 3 months for cancer patients. It's assumed that destroys cancer cells. In some posts I've read, where people are advised to just go on green, go strictly on green juice for 6 months, 3 months. What are the implications of all that?
Yeah, thank you very much for this very, very important question. The internet and social media is filled up with so much disinformation, especially as regards things like cancer and other diseases. Unfortunately, this is the avenue where the average person or the average young man gets his information and they believe it. It is not right. All those alternate procedures don't work.
No, I want you to tell us the implication of depriving the body of other nutrients. I'm just focusing on one.
Yes.
What is that? What's the implication?
The implication is that the other organs of the body are short of the things they need to sustain life. And therefore, you cannot just look at cancer on its own without thinking of the whole body. Okay. If you say you are starving the cancer of nutrients, how about the other body? How about the other parts of the body, your liver, your kidneys, and so on? They all need nutrients. That is why, as far as we know, nobody is saying that you should not take supplements and all that, but you must seek orthodox care in a well-recognized hospital for cancer care.
Your final words to Nigerians.
My appeal to Nigerians is that nobody should be scared of the thing called cancer. You should seek medical help early. The thing is that the infrastructure in the country is enough to take care of early cancers. The problem we have is that presentations are late, and therefore that stretches the infrastructure, and then even the financial burden is high, and the outcomes are very poor. So if it is caught early, it is curable, and Nigerians should not be afraid of cancer, and the federal government in this dispensation is doing a lot to make sure that we sustain the momentum for cancer care in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Atuo, for coming on Health Options.
I'm very grateful. Thank you for inviting me.
I have been speaking with the National Coordinator, National Cancer Control Program, Federal Ministry of Health, Dr. David Atuo. The fact that cancer is very expensive to treat makes it imperative for nations to prioritize research into more affordable drugs for the prevention and management of the disease. We now take you to our nature's corner, where you get to see and know some medicinal plants in our environment that contains anti-cancer properties.
I want to start with this very popular plant. This is called Cucuma longa. Cucuma longa, this is the popular turmeric. This is the turmeric rhizome, and it's very popular. In fact, if you go to stores, supermarkets, you will see turmeric powder, in different forms. It's a very good spice. Its origin is in India, and for more than 2,000 years, Ayurvedic medicine has used preparation of turmeric preparation in the treatment of cancer. In as much as turmeric is known to have a history of strong anti-cancer property, isolation of chemical constituents such as curcumin has proven to be a challenge, because that constituent now had reduced anti-cancer property. Some of the things that we are doing in the lab currently to ensure that these challenges are overcome include trying to enhance the bioavailability, which is the problem of the curcumin itself that has been isolated from it. The second plant here that you see, this is leaves of soursop. Soursop, if in fact these days, if you go on social media, you will see a lot of people posting things about soursop. Just drink soursop and your cancer is gone. Just make juice of soursop and you have no cancer again. The beauty of soursop is that while it is true that scientific studies have proven in the laboratories that it has the ability to kill a lot of cancers, different types of cancers, it is not true and it is not advisable for anybody to start soaking soursop fruit or making juice of soursop and drinking it thinking that it's going to kill cancer. You are just deceiving yourself. It does not kill cancer that way. How will it kill cancer? It will kill cancer when we all cool down, when we make research and development an agenda for our nation, when we begin to invest into research and development. There are a lot of studies already from our laboratories to show that soursop has phytoconstituents that can kill different types of cancer. This flowering plant is called rose periwinkle. The scientific name is Cantharathos roseus. This plant, in fact, two powerful anti-cancer drugs have already been isolated from this plant. They are called vincristine and vinblastine. They are chemical compounds and they have very serious side effects. The difference is this, and this is what we preach about nature, and this is what we want to emphasize about nature, and this is what we want to emphasize about pharmaceutical research and development to herbal medicines. We must go back to nature.
Welcome back from Nature's Corner. The pains and sufferings that cancer patients experience underscores the need for all to know and take preventive measures against the deadly disease. We have some useful health tips on cancer.
The breast cancer also, for prevention of breast cancer, self-breast examination is very important. Breast ultrasound when an individual is less than 40 years, and when an individual is more than 40 years, mammogram is very important so that when detected early, it can be cured at that particular time. By the time an individual go to a hospital and she do a mammogram and they say the mammogram is normal, it assumes that the patient can come back between 1 to 2 years to repeat it again. But when they say there is something inside that they find a benign mass in the breast, it will be wise for her to repeat the mammogram after 6 months. But once it is done and there is nothing found in the breast, it will be wise for her to repeat it between 1 to 2 years because of the risk of radiation. By the time you are taking a lot of fats it will reduce the time that someone will go to the toilet, and that one will make the stool. It will make the stool, one, to be harder, one, to be static in the body system, and patient will be constipated. And constipation is one of the long-time constipation is one of the risk factor for cancer of the colon and also anal cancer. Cervical cancer can be prevented and also can be detected early when a patient is comes to the hospital for pap smear, screening of pap smear. You know, when a patient is in the hospital, they will screen her for pap smear, and if detected early, that is what they call carcinoma in situ, which that mean that when it is carcinoma in situ, it's an early cancer, and it can be, at that stage, it can be cured. For the male, to always screen for cancer of the prostate by doing their PSA test. That one can be done once every year. They should do abdominal ultrasound. That should also do exercise is very good for the body. That will reduce a lot of risk of exposing an individual to cancer. And also for the female, also I'm urging them to do self-breast examination. And also for the cancer of the colon, especially those that have family history, that is what they call fecal occult blood test, and also colonoscopy. If people that have cancer of the colon, family history, they should please urge to do that from time to time so that they will reduce the risk of exposing themselves to cancer.
That wraps up this edition of Health Options. I am Rabi Abdallah. Until we come your way again, do look after yourself. Bye for now.